honestly, it's an opportunity that I won't take for granted. You know, Luka's a once-in-a-generation player, and I'm happy to be his teammate. Hearing how much shit he's been in, he's super ripped, and I'm finally glad to be on this side, you know, while he's doing all of that. And you know, I'm just truly excited. You know, I want to win a championship right now, and you know, I want to win right now as well, and just be a part of a winning legacy and just be around winners. The last 2 years was just a different route for me. I just learned a lot that, you know, when you don't win in this league, you can be forgotten. I'm just glad Lincoln is.
Last game of the night on Tuesday in Summer League was the Lakers and the Spurs, and we begin with Darius Bazley kicking it out to Dalton Connect. If he can take a step forward for the Lakers this season, man, would that ever help some of their shooting woes? A little later on, Jameer Nelson Jr., step back style, Amari Moore, driving, gets the reverse to go. You got to show me that again. Oh my goodness, Moore with the sweet finish there. San Antonio up by 1 early. Lakers with some great ball movement here, leading to the 3. Bazley then going to get the drive and finishes strong here through the contact and 1. And it's a tough finish, man. That goes high off the window and in. He would make the free throw. Let's check in with Ronnie James. He gets an easy 2. San Antonio was up 47-42 at the break in the third. More Bazley. Spin move. Oh my goodness. Two-handed dunk right there. Spurs responding. Outlet pass up top with the finish. San Antonio up 58-49 after that beauty. So we go back to Dalton Connect. This time, underneath the glass, going to get the rebound and the lay-in. San Antonio at that point up by 10. David Jones-Garcia working the glass. Carter Bryant then knocking down the three-pointer from the corner. San Antonio up 83-69, but the Lakers do not go away. Connect with the miss. Bazley, 27 points, 13 rebounds. The Lakers up by 1. With Jones-Garcia with a chance to win the game and gets the shot, just goes wide, does not fall. A little scrum at the end, can't get a shot to go as the Lakers come back and win this one 89-88.
Take a look back at last season's loaded Western Conference and how it all shook out at the end of 82 games. Focusing in here for a moment on the Lakers, who finished 3rd, and the Spurs, who finished 13th, and what the Spurs are doing to make sure that they're not on the outside looking in this season. They've already added Kelly Olynyk to their front court. Pardon me, they added Luke Kornet to their front court, and now they add Kelly Olynyk to bolster what feels like adding a strength to a strength. They send out Branham and Wesley in a pick to Washington. They keep on loading up on young guys there after getting Cam Whitmore the other day. But how about this philosophy of San Antonio? You've got, obviously, Wembanyama, and now adding Kornet and adding Olynyk. Guys that are not going to knock you over with star power, but really complimenting him in a way.
I think, Jared, you said it best. It's a fit. And I think when you look at Kelly Olynyk, he understands how to play with the basketball. He can pick and pop. He's been around, and I think he'll be a great guy that can obviously help Wemby out when it gets a little physical. Luke Kornet, a guy who I love, he says he's wearing number 7 because he wants to be a third of Tim Duncan. But I like how he played last year. He's a rim runner. He rebounds the basketball. And you can play Wemby because of his skill set with either one of those bigs. And they're huge in the backcourt with Fox and Harper. And then also Stephon Castle, Vassell. They still have a lot of guys. And Carter Bryant is a 3-and-D guy, and the emphasis on D. He can really defend.
What's this?
In this fall, man, it's very tough. In this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and join the Miami Heat.
Miami Heat. That was the conclusion you woke up with this morning.
That was the conclusion I woke up with this morning.
Where were you that night
In Orlando, in a hotel, doing summer league, and obviously got the call and got a chance to talk to Mickey Harrison right after the decision was made.
But he was happy.
Yes, indeed. I mean, the Heatles.
Let's take a look at LeBron. July 8th, 2010 versus July 8th, 2025. Didn't have any rings at the time. Was a two-time MVP. Take a look at the points. He had 15,000, which is pretty darn impressive for a guy who's 25. But now up to more than 42,000 and the all-time scoring leader. I don't know if you would have said on a program like this, if LeBron, you would have predicted at 25 would be the all-time scoring king, you'd believe it because that's just not the player he was focused on being.
You're right, Jared. I thought you could talk about a guy all time in different categories, but as far as going out and scoring this many points, longevity, you can see that from him for sure, but not this long and this way he's playing. I mean, the numbers he put up last year, Jared, it's just phenomenal. They didn't win, obviously lost in the first round, but I look at LeBron right now. How much more can he go? Can he get to 45,000 points, 46? It's unbelievable. And also, the level he's playing, I know he wants another championship, but he's already been in history playing, having a chance to play with the same.
Well, people want to know. He's played with 3 different franchises. Will he end his career as a Laker, or will he put on a 4th different uniform?
You know, we shall see. I got a feeling he's playing for one more franchise.
Whoa! This year?
I feel him. No, I don't know when, but
The following.
The following. Poor man's Josh Giddey right now.
Wow. Quite the compliment.
Yeah, it is.
All right. So we'll get back to Summer League hoops in a moment, but some other news of the day. The Knicks have their 15th head coach, just of the 21st century. Mike Brown officially introduced to the New York media on Tuesday.
I'm honored and excited to be the new head coach of the New York Knicks. We talk about the historic franchise, Madison Square Garden. It's iconic. Our fans, they're the most knowledgeable and passionate, probably in all of sports. There's a lot of work to be done. We have an outstanding roster. What they did in the playoffs shows their potential.
He can certainly win a press conference. There's no question. He's won a bunch of games, too. 2-time Coach of the Year, Mike Brown. The Knicks are the 5th different franchise he has coached. I just want to remind you how we got to this point. Tom Thibodeau leads the Knicks to Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals. And then he gets fired. Leon Rose, the president of the team, who doesn't speak to the media, issued a statement saying in part that we are now
with the Nuggets, and he could have done a 2-year extension, basically. There would have been a 3-year extension. You'd opted out and replaced it, but basically it would have been only 2 years of new money. Next year, he can sign for a much larger deal with 3 years of new money. So it's actually kind of 4 years when you look at he'd get paid for this year and then add 3 more. So it kind of made sense that he would not sign this. Like Josh Kroenke said, the team was prepared for it. That said, McMahon, when your franchise player doesn't sign an extension, it is going to stutter you a little bit, especially when the team has had some fumbles the last couple of years with the roster.
Yeah, and again, not a surprise. It completely makes sense from a financial perspective for Joker to go ahead and wait. Just like it made sense from a financial perspective for De'Aaron Fox to go ahead and wait and not to commit to the Sacramento Kings last summer. Now, we all know how that worked out. Having said that, Joker's got a little bit more playoff equity, championship equity in Denver, I would say, having won a title as opposed to never having won a playoff series like De'Aaron Fox did in Sacramento. And I do think that the Nuggets have done a really good job, despite what bondholders might want to complain about, improving the supporting cast around Joker. And hey, Denver is the team that pushed the Thunder to 7 games this year. I think the Thunder win regardless, but Aaron Gordon playing on a ripped hamstring certainly didn't help Denver's cause in Game 7. Went out and improved the bench depth from there. So I don't see this as some kind of danger sign for the Nuggets. But you're always more comfortable when you've got your guy locked up as long-term as possible.
Well, what it is going to do is put a whole big spotlight on Denver next season. And, the Nuggets are going to have to show that the moves that they made actually did improve the roster and actually do give them a better chance of going deep in the playoffs. Because, look, for everything that we had said here about, and you guys are correct, and that it didn't, it certainly makes sense why Jokic didn't extend. And it would make sense, Josh Kroenke himself brought up the fact that he might not. It still doesn't change the fact that he didn't. And for a team that has come under fire, I think fairly, for some of the moves they have made in recent memory, it is going to, I think, put a further magnifying glass on this upcoming season. And if they do lose in the first round or lose in the second round again, and Jonas Valanciunas isn't playable in the playoffs, and Bruce Brown doesn't replicate what he did a couple of years ago, and Tim Hardaway isn't that effective, or the young guys don't step forward or whatever, there are going to become natural questions going into next summer about, all right, well, is Nikola Jokic going to extend now? And if he doesn't, what's Denver going to do? Like, that's going to be hanging over him now.
What about Luka Doncic extending now? He doesn't have much incentive financially either.
Well, I think what would make sense there is to do the short-term extension to get him to 10 years when he's renegotiating the next one, and then get you to a higher level financially. But hey, I don't know. I don't know where Luka stands right now in terms of what's been going on with the Lakers. I do know that he's a guy.
One thing I'll say about Luka, there is something to be said for signaling to, especially the new ownership group, that I want to be your partner. And there are worse, Bontemps doesn't like that. There are worse brands to commit to and worse ownership groups to commit to than the Lakers and Mark Walter. So what Luka could do, even though there may not be a financial benefit for him to connect, connecting right now, there is something to be said for saying to the new ownership, let's get into business together and let's begin the process of doing this together. There is a value to that, because if the Lakers know that Luka is invested, even if it is for a short deal, man, they can make some decisions that are a certain way. And I do think there's a value to that that at least has to be considered. So like De'Aaron Fox, if when De'Aaron Fox didn't extend, it was a message that he wasn't necessarily firmly committed to the partnership. Even if Luka can leave his options open, there's something to be said for saying that you're committed to the partnership.
And again, I do think that shorter term extension makes a lot of sense for a lot of reasons. Financially, it puts him in the best possible position. And let's just be honest, the Lakers aren't a bad franchise to bet on, especially now that they have the deepest pockets of any ownership group in the NBA, and they've got a lot of work.
It's not
to do.
deeper than Ballmer.
Okay, well, sure. Okay,
much deeper pockets than they have.
Extraordinarily deep pockets, and the best brand in the NBA in terms of marketing and all those kind of things. And we'll see how the DeAndre Ayton thing works out, but I believe Luka was on board with that. Obviously, same representation, same draft class, all those sort of things. The LeBron stuff, not ideal, and that is a guy that Luka grew up. He was his favorite player growing up, and just quite frankly, like the way the Dorian Finney-Smith thing went down, not ideal. It's one of Luka's all-time favorite teammates, and the contracts came out, and I get the Lakers prioritizing cap space in the summer of 27. Wendy, did you see? Is there any guaranteed money in Dorian Finney-Smith's contract after 26-27?
There is not. It's just a 2-year guarantee.
Huh. I found that to be interesting. I don't think it was the. I don't think that Dorian Finney-Smith left real thrilled with how the Lakers front office handled that whole situation, which isn't ideal. Not ideal.
All right. Well, Bontemps wants to say something before you get to Dorian Finney-Smith.
This entire conversation insane. I don't understand why it's up to Luka Doncic to just bow down to the Lakers and say, hey, we should have a partnership here going forward. To me, the Lakers have to show Luka Doncic they deserve to have a partnership with him. I mean, this is a team that is a mess at the moment. And the Dorian Finney-Smith thing does not look great for them. And they do not have a lot of talent on the roster. And this is not a team that Luka Doncic has any sort of loyalty to. They traded for him out of the blue 5 months ago, and now he's there. And I don't see why. To me, if I'm Luka Doncic and I'm his representation, to me, I'm keeping all my options open until next summer. It doesn't do him any good to sign an extension now and take options off the table next summer. To me, it doesn't do any good to take any pressure off the Lakers to try to improve. Luka Doncic isn't, to me, in a position where he should be cool with them having some 2 or 3 year rebuilding plan. The Lakers could hardly put contending teams around Anthony Davis and LeBron James. They've made 1 conference finals in the last 5 years. This is not a team to me that deserves some sort of long runway for, oh, hey, trust us to take the next 3 years of your career into our hands, and we're going to build a good team around you. If I'm Luka, I'm saying, I'm Bill Duffy and his representation. I'm saying, all right, guys, let's see what you're going to do. You're going to wait 2 years to sign players? Is that the plan? You're going to wait till next summer to sign players? Okay, let's see. There's going to be a lot of cap space next summer. There's a lot of options next summer. I just think that some